Hello and welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. My name is Danny DeLillo. We're here at the South Park Center. I'm delighted to join Marian, who's flew in from New York to be with us with fruits and vegetables that help your projections. Let's take another clip. Marian, welcome to the New Filmmakers LA family.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
We'll never let you go now. You've got to keep making movies. And thank you for flying in from New York City.
Thank you. This is really important to me, and I've adored New Filmmakers LA for a while, so I'm excited. I'm honored to be here.
Well, firstly, for those, by the way, it's the best title in the world. Like, just so you know, I love it so much. For those that haven't seen your film, tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so Fruits and Veggies That Help Your Projection. Long title. I love a long title. Tells the story of a single mother struggling a little bit with her weight and her self-esteem and realizing how that's affecting her, and then in tandem that affects her daughter as well. So she's kind of battling to see how she can balance that, trying to feel good with herself and reflecting that onto her daughter.
Well, firstly, fell in love with these characters that you brought to life, like literally, like they could have their own series. They were just, you know, very infectious and love this beautiful mother and daughter relationship. But also just love the story and the context, there's meaning and all the things that emotionally they're both going through in their own experiences. When was that light bulb idea for you where you're like, I've got it and I want to turn it into a film?
Funny story, I actually started writing this film as a comedy, and it was a mother-daughter story about the mother trying to find love on the internet. So I was going for that scene, and then I started writing the first breakfast scene in the film where the mom and the daughter have an argument about what she eats versus what her brother eats. And I realized it was a very dramatic tone, and I was like, I think I have some pent-up feelings and anger towards this, and I was like, what would I do if I actually went down this route? So then that's how Fruits and Veggies was born.
Oh, amazing. So it was going in one sort of genre direction, then actually you kind of made it sort of, you know, have the meanings and context to it, which is great.
Yeah.
Then obviously developing these characters, like how was that process for you? And by the way, as I told you, you have an amazing cast. So how was that process developing these characters and then finding your cast for it as well?
Yeah, so developing the characters was very much based on me and my family. So me, my mom, and my brother, a little bit based on us, not exactly us, but based on our experiences, based on little conversations that we've had. So just borrowing here and there from them, little mannerisms, very specific little things that they do is kind of how I develop these specific characters. Yeah. And then finding the cast was honestly so beautiful, and kind of they dropped down on my lap very beautifully. I casted my main actress, Adrian, who was
so good.
Amazing. I worked with a previous director named Elaine Del Valle, and she is also a casting director. She's worked with Adrian before as a producer, and she read my script and she was like, you know what, I have the perfect person for you to play the mom. And Adrian's an amazing and talented actress and director as well, so she got it first. I read with her and she was amazing. And then for the daughter, her name is Dayanara. I actually casted her through Instagram.
What? Instagram?
Yeah. Okay. Unconventional route, but I was really wanting to find someone that would really understand the story. So I posted a casting notice on Instagram, and I saw that she was following a page about fat liberation, which is really important to me. And I saw her small profile picture, and she saw my post, and I just DM'd her, and she read the script, we talked, and she really connected with the character. So
that's amazing.
I was like, you're perfect for the part. So they really brought the story to life.
Wow. So obviously you mentioned your family, because by the way, just so Marian's family flew in from New York. They're actually here. If you can feel the energy in the room, it's amazing, right? Were you like taking snippets from them, or like being like, were you observing your family in a different way, like when you were writing this script? Like, how was that for you? Were you kind of, is there any elements of character that sort of came out in the film?
I would say that a little bit. I don't know if I observed them more. I actually am from Tijuana, so I'm based in New York, but I'm from Tijuana, Mexico. Yeah. So growing up around them, I think I was always just very observational person. So I did borrow little things here and there from them, and certain phrases, especially that my mom said. And I think instead of them portraying them exactly as them, I threw in little Easter eggs per se in the film with some production design, some costume design as well. They have some bracelets that my mom made us get when we were younger.
I love
so
it.
The little specific details like that when they saw it, they got it right away, right? That it's just kind of like a little Easter egg for them to notice that it is us, but not really.
and how was it directing this for you? Because there's elements that has got an essence of, it's coming from a personal place and experience, right? But then also like you're developing these characters that you wrote as well. Like how is your directing process with your actors?
It was very interesting. It was very therapeutic, I would say. I feel I wrote this film again for my mom and based on us. So making the mother the main character for me was really important to really show her how I'm empathetic towards her, and I understand, right, that she's a woman with her own insecurities, and she really did the best that she could. So following that with my actress, Adrian was just amazing. Really, she resonated with the story a lot with her own mother. So talking a lot with her about her process growing up and how her mother was. And she actually told me that this was also a therapeutic process for her because she realized that her own mother was going through her own things. So a lot of mother-daughter conversations between me and my actress, and it was also really emotional, some process. There's a scene where the mother somewhat apologizes to the daughter, and that was just a really emotional day on set. I cried watching the scene because those are things that I wish I heard when I was younger. So I think just a lot of self-reflection. There was a lot of journaling involved, a lot of just mental pictures of what I would have imagined that my mom would have said to me in those times. So making sure I was always communicating with my actors. As well as a director, I think also having a topic of fat phobia and weight can be really vulnerable, and having my actress, bare stomach on film is really personal. So I was really, really grateful with her. So a lot of talking about vulnerability, a lot of talking about how I could make her feel comfortable. That's really important to me. I had a mental health coordinator on set that was kind of the liaison between us to talk about how the set could be more comfortable with us, how we can have a close set when she was undressing. So a lot of spaces where, as a director, I really wanted to emphasize, this is a vulnerable space and we're safe here. It's okay to want to do the take again. It's okay to not wanting to show maybe a part of you, because that's what the story is about, right? So I wanted my actors to also feel comfortable, and I wanted really them to feel the story.
Well, I'm so glad you're a filmmaker. Like, my guess, you were born to do this, but also just, not just from your talents and your story, but also just your empathy to the story, the subject, the people on your set. Like, there's nothing better than everyone just feeling free and happy and safe on set, right? Like, it's a really important experience. And especially when you talk about very, it's tough topics, whether you're that character or whether it's the conversation. And so, well done for really taking the finer details and the care to that. And, I think one thing that you'd show was just like family love is complicated, right? You go through ups and downs with family, but hopefully there's always room for resolution in the end. But there's always hopefully some coming together. And I thought you did that really well, particularly I was very emotional in that scene too. That was, when they just, apologize, that conversation. But also with that being said, like, what did you kind of want your audience to sort of take? Because I really feel like you probably had a lot of healing conversations for people that have watched it with their own families. What did you want your audience to take from your film?
Yeah, I wanted my audience to really feel how, first of all, stories about fat people, stories about weight, don't always have to end with a traumatic feeling, you know? I think there's very limited stories about weight, about fat people ending on a good note, or there's always a lot of self-hate attached to it. So I really wanted them to feel that, it's complicated. Self-love is complicated. Even at the end, the mother is not fully there, but she knows she has to accept herself in order for her daughter to accept her and her daughter to accept herself. So I really wanted them to feel that, it's a complicated process, self-love and loving your parents and accepting them as people. I think I really wanted audiences to also, have that conversation with their parents, being like, maybe behaviors that you had in the past have harmed me, but I understand that you were also going through your own things and it wasn't on purpose or it wasn't intentional, and you're doing the best for me. So that's a feeling that I really wanted people to feel, and thankfully I feel like that's been the response.
Good. Well, I mean, well deserved, honestly. Listen, you never know what you're going into when you go into a film festival. It's very scary having your film baby up there on the big screen. You're like, oh my goodness. But obviously coming to the other side of the country and being at the film festival, it was a vibration last night, wasn't it? Like, yes. My goodness. But how was that experience for you?
It was surreal. Honestly, this is the biggest screen the film has played at. So it brought me to tears, honestly. Yeah. It was just very emotional. The film as a dramatic element is really hard sometimes to feel what the audience is feeling in a dramatic, in a comedy you have people laughing and certain cues. In a drama, everyone's just silent, staring at the screen. Yeah. So I was a little nervous, but it just felt amazing, especially, being for the Latina program, just in the fact that I, am Mexican and I want a Mexican audience, I want a Latina audience to resonate with this. So it just felt really personal. Yeah. Even though it's a big theater, it felt really close together. And, towards the end, I heard some sniffles, which is
always good.
Exactly. I know, in a drama where you hear some tears, that's always a good sign. So it felt really, really beautiful.
I mean, it was obviously part of our celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month, but also just all the incredible, filmmakers from all over, from the US, Central and South America. How was it being? Because it's so nice as well. Because one of the things I love about this program is a lot of films are in Spanish or in different languages, Portuguese. How was that experience being in that particular program as well?
It was so great. Yeah. Especially, I think, because a lot of Latinas are put into a certain box, and we can only tell a certain story. So seeing all these different types of Latinas, from Sao Paulo, from Central America, from Salvador, from everywhere, you see how we actually are so multifaceted and we have so many stories to tell. So it was really special being able to show an audience, that we can do so much. We can actually tell all these different stories. Even if we are this specific ethnicity, we don't have to stay in a box. We can do comedies, we can do dramas, we can do scary, so.
Possibilities endless.
Exactly.
But also it's so important that we change we just increase our visibility and representation on screen always as well, in all departments. So I'm glad you're leading the way, which leads me to say, what is your next story you're going to get in? What are you bringing us next, Marian?
Yeah, of course. I'm currently developing 2 short films. It's a little bit under the wraps because I'm barely grasping stories myself. I'm leaning more towards dramedies now. I think the drama was so beautiful, but a lot of emotion into it, so I want to go to a little lighter side, so leaning more towards a dramedy. And really this was my first and my biggest short film, so I'm really honing in my director skills. I'm directing some music videos, which is really exciting, so just really getting that practice of what it means to be a director for me and what my voice is.
Well, you were born to do this, so we're looking forward to many more of the stories that you'll be telling and bringing to our screens. But thank you so much. Thank you to your cast, your crew, your lovely family as well for being part of it. And yeah, welcome to the New Filmmakers LA family.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here and ready to be back.
Excellent. Marian, everybody.